The Tale of Genji, Umegai, Murasaki Shikibu. Heaven and earth in the spring newly come Tari carry Genji up. For the only daughter, Akiko, Genji is 11-year-old that has been provided in order to increase the expression of sang-wearing of the princess was not Shitaku of moderate par. Crown Prince was also supposed to be there as your ceremony of attaining manhood in the same February, but seems to go performed also followed that enter the Crown Prince of the princess. By the end of January, the leisure season both public and private, Genji was omoed at the preparation of incense. Although I tried to issue a raw material of fragrant wood class, which had been a gift from Dani, it caused the question of unexpected may have or better what came over before than this. Let me open the storehouse of article of hospital. But the ones who came from China was Kisa have to everyone Roku join. Genji tried to compare them with the new ones in. There are many things artistic towards the fabrics such as still the old ones as well. Saying, covering things for the ceremony. Laying materials, in such as those that cause with the end of such as decubitus. Toka Koreans document Klogsaya at the beginning of the reign of the late council. In the textile or something Heiken Nishiki. Modern ones it was decided each of your location of land cut with a superior taste then. Now Aya and In came from more of Dani presented him separately to the other. And wives in the Roku joined raw materials to the old days of or now of capital a mix both of incense. Send it to a woman friend to respective Genji. Told want made the incense of each of two kinds. Sang-wearing of Shikijitsu gifts. Sound ground beside her in division of labor the production of the fireman's standard head up. Clothing such to officials and was it each wife. Also an iron mortar of raw materials of incense began to choose each it was time to be a feel busy. Even standing, Genji to the main room of the south of the town, while confined away from the place of his wife, was why eagerly made the incense in the tomb mating way which is said to be emperor of the Mystica. The Yukatamawawa mastered, Mrs. with the equipment to avoid people to leave of the pair of the east. Where was making incense in the secret of the law of Hachijo of Shikibu lord of the temple. Also in the couple thus. I had to say in trying to match the superiority or inferiority of incense struggle and avoid being suggesting a secret. It is a competition not like people that is the parent of the princess. Any wife that is also samurai into the chamber of the formulation in place of the wife were a small number of those who were chosen, among which it was extremely to produce the elaborate props for the formula, especially incense of the box of the form base. The incense but is Genji on how to make the burning head to Korasa the design, which is excellent and made of various plant to its pot. I was often going to put on that attempt. February was the 10th day of. Rain is a little raining. Red plum in front of the garden when you're exerting a name tree the first time the color also. Incense was also excellent. Lord of the temple Hyobu became come and visit. For the expression of sang clothes are supposed to be of tomorrow today. It was mentioned your visit to Genji that the cares. Especially because I was a good your brothers of the relationship from the old days. When you love flowers. While a variety of consultation. Before saying from saying, the letter that you gave to the branch of flowers scattered plums about half to this seed it was brought, since the temple became come to know even before there were rumors between the Genji and before. Saying, will any letter came from there? And are you to say now, a look of Fuso come causing the curiosity, Genji just. The I have made a rude ask, I was smoke that we make as soon as the incense. Saying, your letter had hidden, put 2 boxes in the leg with a bowl of lapis lazuli of the tree of precipitation. Incenses had been put rounded to slightly larger grain. Decoration branches 5 leaves towards the lapis lazuli navy blue as a gift, along with a plum flower towards the white lapis lazuli. Yarn was also all grace that is signed. I will not be able to shine. And the temple is to say it became to come to look it. Flower of incense, ya shallow beans on the sleeves, desatsura, etc. nay stop on the sleeves in ink chili. With our eyes to a written small song called It Became a Contrived You read aloud. Lieutenant General of the Prime Minister was entertainment to look for use came. Hung me, China woman of costumes that accompanied an elongated made of cut area of the raid have been bestowed on Matoyatama. Reply be written to the color of the paper of red plum. Attached to the branches off the red plum in front of the garden. It is your letter that somehow want to know the content, why would so wilt thou in secret? To say that Mia will come want to see. What do you think there is troubled because gratuities like that extra imagination? To say, we showed you a song that I wrote now to say and also in shita tame the paper to the temple. Sutsume etc. If the Shimaru Kana peoples in Gamla incensido do the heart to the branches of flowers. It appears to be then that. It seems to be a little curious, and has said in his own if not unavoidable because adult type only daughter. But if you have been such a fuss, because not that praise, it is ceased to ask the people of the other. Imperial Palace the Nakamaya I am exit from the waste. I think that trying to give me a UE even if the ARC newsletter become towards the family. Because he has a personality that's sunny to the Masui mind. You in the ritual of moderate par there I feel that waste is. Quote, Genji had said and the like. I must choose well, share good luck man, to it is those who do not even on this. And Mia came to say you that you are getting an equivalent of the good offices of Genji. And it was delivered from the front Saiyan of incense. And the became the come the temple to the opportunity. Use the Torio Seiru also incense prepared if Mrs. et al. Was issued. Because I think the air of today with humidity, raquette is suitable for testing of incense. Its assay was beaten with, from the wives, incense made in variouses. Came decorated in a variety. Please referee this, not the person to ask your other. This Genji said, it was to ordered and burning attempt burned incense. I know people in the know also the incense is also the flower color of either show no plum to you if in sauce. I do not even chisel. And although the temple became come in humility, to snip the delicate goodness bad smell, fine defect is snooping to who not be forgiven, was for trying to be your graded. 2 kinds of incense of Genji was ordered for the first time made at this time. Instead of the fact that Uzumeru around them is a kawa of right Kanofu. That the had been buried my river of NVL of garden exiting flow from the bottom of the west up. Watadono, brought to dig the samurai captain of the children of Waiguang Prime Minister then it was. It Chancellor Lieutenant General came carrying to the seat received. It is what has become painful judge. The first smoky, and the temple became come to say painfully. Even if the same law is transmitted widely, that smell by comparing the goodness evil of incense that of individual hobby has finished. Participating in it were those a lot of interest which is black how incense became Otsukuri of say and even and not also decided that the first thing was excellent is kokoro naikui quiet quaint. In the chamber line incense temple to be graceful in gloss superior to manufacture of Genji became. Your say, the queen of purple and there was 3 or Baikako as youthful and gorgeous. Were those along the field that the top was dull uncommon. I would not smell that come to this as those that mix fired in these days of breeze. The temple is to compliment you. When the flower Chisato wife is impossible. Such as to enter into that all of the competition. To show regret without shyness up in such a thing. Came to make only one kind of KO incense. I miss the smell of the strange mood was smell from it. Kimi Akashi is the winter of his wife. From incense to represent the 4 seasons as has become to what was decided. I think just not my best regards also keep to deprecating the winter. In the Kaurukaromo incense recipe also. Good thing is Kotadashi as into the law of the previous Suzaku council or in principle and is a 100 steps. Which is said to have purified prescription ones made by reference. Enough of the struggle of the effect that was paid in the making table we were. And those that were richly have a graceful incense. which to the temple is also basa the criticism with sympathy. It's everybody's friend of judge. Genji was laughing, saying, since the moon came out and carried sake is in the sea. The temple and the Genji became come the first time the old story. To shine a night lighted the moon that woolen, blowing a little wind after a rain. Flower of incense was around the around. Everyone went drunk to everyone gloss feelings. For the better of the samurai Dokoro is the ensemble of music there tomorrow. Put a musical instrument to break down, or try to play in palace circles. Officials had gathered a lot. Had dinner vertical the sound of funny whistle, and Major General of the Child's Head Lieutenant General and valves of the Lord Keeper of the Privy Seal also had to go home to come only in the greeting of waiting upon. Genji is stopped, and was transported to hear an instrument to samurai. Head Lieutenant General is ordered to the roll of the wagon. Ensemble and aroused the gorgeous became interesting. Source Chancellor Lieutenant General took charge of the flute. Spring tone was erected low enough to pass even the sky. Taking Major General time signature of the valve, she began singing Umegai in a beautiful voice. This person is a child, is Kimiko sang Takasago came with my father to inside. Mia also Genji also sometimes helped the song, but not very much music. There is a funny music night, when Shuhai has been bites. Palace. Around the voice of the Yaidodo a cougar and heart titan Suru flower of Yugahisu. Also it hurts 1,000 years. And now you say you to Genji. This spring just to the color nor the process moves incense what rough even without him the flowers bloom in. And Genji from singing, and refers to the cup to the head of Lieutenant General. Lieutenant General was turning the cup to the Lieutenant General of the Prime Minister after having received the cup. Branches of the roost of Yugahisu also fluttered to blow Naho past the midnight futake. And the head of Lieutenant General is saying, the heart has been blown up to Ainu taken Yogumel of wind Hananoki Yadutu. It would be a little bad. Quote. And Chancellor Lieutenant General everybody laughed say, Major General of the valve. Also I know fraying roost of the bird if not separate the haze mites month and flowers. And he said, as it has become to say you that the place where want to Nagai, the temple were to become in your ways to dawn. Genji is a gift, and fix one territory that had made in for itself. Was allowed to put the incense Nitsubo not touch the hand to the temple of your car. Also this in error and sister and blamed us transferred the flower of incense sleeves grave example. Mia is hurt and became a singing incense. What you and I take it from your worry to the excuses. And Genji laughed, although the car was trying to another Hashiradaso, so keep up the use. Mezurashi the hometown people even go home wearing a brocade of weight each min hanakimi. It will not sorrow your satisfaction that it consummated. Quote. When Genji is to tell the palace was Asobasa a wry smile. Not a fireman's standard head enough to stand out in such as Major General of the head Lieutenant General in valves, was of the Tokatopi elongated small Uchigi Genji gave. Genji couple and princess to the west of the town to carry out the expression of saying clothes went to 8 o'clock in the afternoon. To each other in the palace of the west of the away to become come of Nakamaya have been disposed of expression of your hair up the roll of the princess. In the case of a dress is to enclose a little bangs. Maid of honors came also here like purple wife was also Omanakaka to Nakamaya to this incidentally with Nakamaya with his wife that the sitting of the wife was dressed up with a princess looked as unexpected may even number. Formula to put the saying is was started in a 12. It was a look in light of the faint light. But beautifully Nakamaya the princess was oboshi meshi. You're welcome to ask that you please love you. I was not even out to the sight rude appearance. Such as noble as you like it you for a such care as endured in inspiring and would be no example. Not. And Genji had I mentioned. To be less experienced we will not know anything. Such your with this please refer to the greeting is troubled rather. And your state of Nakamaya that is say. humbly saw that Socom is rich and charming and youthful. The happiness that this beautiful people are all on a family Genji felt. Akashi is my heart ached from which was at Fu grieved that cannot be seen even expression of this. Sunny are in the shade. But it is of Genji thought also whether I call to you. Run chopsticks or still Habaka, the reputation there was no. But the article for such expression of those annoying be written in name statement. It is going to write without such as myself is sloppy. For fear of result that would break the rather clean fine things. Fine not written to, your ceremony of attaining manhood of the crown prince had 20 several days. Because I arose like the other fine adult. But with a wish that nobody wanna put the daughter as to concubines. With confidence that there is Genji. To know you are going Matsuro the princess to the crown prince. The mighty competition person whether this Miyazuke would not have rather than be unhappy daughter. With Sadaijin, the Genji that you are also hesitant such as the left gen. Heard, will be sorry to, then you top Miyazuke is one of a number. Just a little of your. There's a significance to compete for the difference of Icho here is a noble ye of fine. Princess is not to leave your it will be no hurry I also. Saying, it extended the period of Miyazuke of the princess. Even if people who were also trying to be after you to give the daughter to hear it. First a Sadaijin has put a 3-woman to the crown prince. It was supposed to be referred to as the Legion Dono. That the more of Genji as time date extends such as to cause yield an interior decoration of Polonia pot of old night duty stations. Because Crown Prince was your appearance to look forward Oboshi Meshi was determined to be miles in April. Also, such as hand tools such princess. Along with making or new to some from the original. Genji himself or thinking type. Is or cooked there designed to collect the expert of experts. Had ordered the artistic production in drafts and implements to put in things like that box of drafts and implements. Both the Genji something so that the book by also binding was selected. In deceased, had a lot in place of Genji also those written by people who are said to landlord of more of calligraphy. Even in the last days all that is going worse than in the past. Only the pseudonym of character. As seems to be how far will become interesting. Now it is better these days. In the past the pseudonym is accurate, flexible and does not work. It is monotonous strange there is no change. Man to write a clever pseudonym has been flute become modern. When I was also eager to learn the pseudonym. Various collected modeled on the safe provisional surname although thing. Entered into his mother of Miyasunda Koro is a line or two of the characters that have been written. Is without anything hands of Nakamaya. The top of the provisional last name is what you vitalized and this is it. It becomes the basis it will be to make a Yuki Nate. I think, as was the relationship between the bitter experience with me, but died while wanted mortification. He was not the case necessarily. Now we are Poppy your assistants the Nakamaya that is. Because it was an intelligent person. Even in the afterlife Makoto would be so come admitted. Is less brilliant but your character's beautiful as Nakamaya. And Genji had whispered to his wife. Although Nakamaya like the priest came to write you a letter with the top of the lady seems to. Goods. If there is a weak place. Shoji of gorgeous mood is not. Counsel is the most excellent writer of modern habit and uninhibited too comes out. However, even with the previous Seian and Shoji of hospital anyway, we issue you to the writer of the drafts and implements. By observe from Genji, Mrs. You will be embarrassed as Nasu, together with such people who. I had to say, I will too much humility. There is a place very nice soft tone. Kanji but you can write very well. You will have the drawback that sometimes mix the power of the missing character in the pseudonym. Such as the Genji is saying also. It was allowed to also what Booker a new binding plane of drafts and implements do not write. It is needless to say that was finely curated such as covers and straps. Let's ask you also to Toga Hyobu Lord of the Temple Toga Saman Governor. I also write with me even if he has written one book. Strutting would be Sunny Masui, and Genji Haji-san. Sumi also served with chose also brush. Always. But the writing to some places with such negotiations Genji was then asked. Nobody thought to be difficult to respond to this commission. Declined among them come people it was also. But Genji at such time wanted to write in repeatedly kindness words. A book that has been binding of the paper to the Asuki-sama style very glossy feel of the Korean paper Genji look. Let's not written this to the wind flow favorite youth. And he said, Chancellor Lieutenant General, Oversee Hioe of the House of Shikibu sir. Such is the Lord Keeper of the Privy Seal the House of the Head Lieutenant General. Toka hand legs. Toka picture song. Anything to write in their own way in Genji were I say. Young people took to manufacture competing. Always to be in such a time. Genji wrote in going toward the main room. Flowers in the sky of lovely day which is an off pale green past prime of. Genji while quietly select the old poetry, and to write a letter of as possible to their own satisfaction. Chinese characters of was also wrote enthusiastically of pseudonym. The only two not placed at most wife is in the room. 3 people, or to slide the ink, where each other is called a person. Such as standing in the role to or seek out exactly as ordered to the song of the old songbook. Miss of the room to raise everyone. Put the book on top of the kyosoku, in a gentle figure close to the edge. Genji to be thought by adding a brush handle in the mouth it was also beautiful to anywhere. White toga red striking pieces is. Also, such as attitude or write with particular attention retaken the brush. The mind of a person who is to not help but pay homage. Or wearing a fix on Genji surprised to hear that Hyobu Lord of the Temple has become come. Was welcomed by her order to further decubitus to the parlor. This house is also in the beautiful appearance. To become come up to gloss the stairs. My wife I had except from mistakes. Greeting was signed, you're at each other right courtesy. It's has been hold up was from boring cage as painful. I please do well it. And Genji was saying, the writing became asked shrine is became come with. Soon Genji in this seat was look. Not because very clever character, but was something that looks artistic taste that was crystal clear to the part. The song also be avoided common senses that you had chosen what has changed. Just had been written well felt reduce the number of characters in about 3 lines. Genji was surprised to your workmanship that goes beyond the expected. This as the original did not think such as that either writing is litany. Both had to say, only self-confidence to write and mixed into the landlord we have I think hell of the thing. The temple is so come to say Hutan. Was placed in a look of the house out from should not be your hidden as well. Such as the book of Genji made already. To was a sober color of china of paper. Became a beautiful superior that was written with Chinese characters in cursive script palace to come look. Also after that, fine-grained I soft in the land of Korea paper to the field. Color, etc., is to shine and not a flashy kana characters. Yet now find your exquisite things that are written in characters correctly with views of the heat. It is a bokuseki to the feeling that flows along also was impressed tears of the beholder. But time was also not able to become to release your eyes until also of colored paper made in Japan Kamiya paper. Uninhibited to was the color gorgeous to the ones that were the Chirashigaki made to think you also. Such that there is an infinite fun. Things other than the pieces are muffled charm heady people up to the end to end. Which was disturbed writing even try to see the other it was not be. Same in governor of character as of it is written in earnest, but not here a missing vulgarity. Finesse is attached to the eye as finesse. Those contrived well as songs are selected. Book of better to become a woman of the hand did not show you a little more. In particular, such as the Saiyan was Genji not served to hide at all. Several books of the book, which was written the leg's hand by young people was interesting to Toradori. Source Lieutenant General of the Draw to enrich the water. Sosoke legs fly to the Ura Naniwa in scenery seems was up. There is such a beautiful song of character to there have been dealt. Those of tone that clear, and I think that is there. Also had a foothand. Such as that there is also a piece that is written of Takashi Ken, a pseudonym commensurate with the landscape was standing at all unusual rock formations. It is what I was surprised. This is what takes a long time to see. And the temple became amused because was more rich and elegance care of the artist's style. To where is used to go to the favorite is also become compliment you. This day is also made to come to the only story of the book, but took over the colored paper scroll that was to appear to the occasion rather than the several present. The temple is made to do you a chamberlain of the sun to the residence. Makora goods became stock in. Volume 4 of Saga Emperor has become every great for Sennin from Old Man Yushu. Emperor of Genji is took over the colored paper of China of thin indigo the Kokenshu. The cover of Karakami that came out of the dark pattern of the same color. Gems of the same color to the axis scroll, such as those made to write by changing the shofu for each wound was it. It became to come look at two people at the shorter the light of the table. Frequently it is what was accustomed to write to fu of so many. These days people it is a form that has broken the bone to the work of just this part. Genji had complimented you and so on. Of the two things came to your donation from the temple to Genji. Even to Shimishite had a girl. Much because it is the thing to the feeling you do not want to care about leaving the child. Such as do not know the value of these things. And because you do not have a daughter to me, it is better to just put into your hand. Such as the palace it is became your say. Genji gave along with a komabue to those put to a fine of toha into the chamberlain in a box of wood. Of precipitation, Genji of these days is keen to watch a particular pseudonym of character or to say that calligraphy. A person is said to write a good letter had asked the right select each of those over the class. Under the upper, middle, the box to enter the book written by Genji. The only book that became the people of the hand belonging to the high class. The book also scroll also had to be accommodated by the addition of rare sote and other furnishings of the princess that it is delicate. You think that there is no court of other countries. I thought the box of this Bokuseki one asked the young people. Genji but was also give to the princess to organize, such as painting. Picture scroll written in the manner of the diary in Suma has been not think that I want to tell to the princess. Is better not to do it until it is understood that more complex life was not added it is into that. With the view that good Lord Keeper of the Privy Seal is a large-scale shitaku to enter the court, to listen to rumors as that of the princess of Genji not that of self. I thought very less than things lonely. Princess of Kali Kumoi that has reached the Mayo Ray had become beautiful. Married the daughter or without marriage story without being hold up was kind of struggling in the Lord Keeper of the Privy Seal. Chancellor or Lieutenant General without showing the seal a little also impatience. Because there was inner toward Suzuka calm attitude. From here, is thought to be a bad thing also of respectability to mount a marriage story. Eagerly he thought the daughter I also like the secret regret I should forgive when to have. Even with just the attitude of the Prime Minister Lieutenant General bad Lord Keeper of the Privy Seal were not think. Something like this but Wasser also Prime Minister Lieutenant General heard what has been a little bit my mind. Still thought it should not have settled down until there is no remaining of some time reproachful memory. Was not to seek the Lord Keeper of the Privy Seal. And I did not even feel like trying to make the subject of other love. But also there was to have an antipathy to itself while also these cramped way of thinking. Chancellor or Lieutenant General is a top priority problem that gets to the status of Nagan against the nanny or Kali Kumoi that defied that it was a sixth place. I believe that Genji Lieutenant General in Fu was floating in the air without which stick is McCain that you are not even married, if you're giving up the story of the there Tokusidaijin, because he has come talk from Toket Temple of Nakatsukasa. may thus decide who and what to get married. And it was also to say, but the Prime Minister Lieutenant General was only to show the fool was humbled in silence. Because I was not able to subject your I also your advice above you of the old days in such a problem. I do not want to put out the mouth, but considering become now, your lesson is permanent truth at that time well understood that it was. If put in long single, it will also see people as if they painted a vision that is not achieved. It is not run if it were fate. Finally together in the woman there is nothing of value is also supposed to produce a put away as a result. The beginning is good. It becomes after Waroshi. I because not pretentious and is between young also there's a temptation from the other. But something easy to fall into a amorous act. Not corruption try name us so. Grown up in court. To not be anything it seems free. Just alone it seems to negligence there is one world is loud and will blame trembling with fear and to have been even my youth. Still love the I thing that seemed bad as being said of the man who rummage. Identification must not be to be a self-indulgence think like there is nothing of interest low. When the thriving of women of mind, of a woman I because it is also on top of the history of things like smart people the problem is to fail. I think the people who do not must think, is the fact itself upright woman of the name also. Such as bear a grudge against the people of a lifetime become the heart of the burden. And the unfortunate marriage. Toka serve as only disadvantage of the woman even if there is such thing as painful for the eyes. To learn a humanitarian heart to love million people and the patience when such. Or Toka compensate for the fact that not enough by I think the parents of the favor of her daughter. Also in the case of married people without parents, lack of circumstances also sufficient to compensate with it as long as a woman a value a wife. Recognition it should be. Having such a compassion was the wife for itself also it made in the process of obtaining a large happiness in the future. Quote, was Genji well teach the Prime Minister Lieutenant General when a leisure also said such a thing. Even though from the spirit of this lesson, Lieutenant General so as not to be able to forget the people of Karanima first love. Such as I think the other woman was wondering. Willfully Father Geese also become recently of Kumoi is ashamed to know that show the Shishoku. But his was of being believed deeply that the unfortunate woman, the surface to show the ignorance sealed. Things like oh I had a thought. Chancellor or Lieutenant General wrote a letter that only a passion to sometimes Omoi Amaru to Kali. Kumoi, but even if I thought in mind whether the Mikoto, but now was even from those Omu and falsehood to ask the where the Mikoto. Innocent Kumoi of geese without a doubt the people indiscriminately as people shifted world is. Seemed to have many places to be read by died in the letter of Lieutenant General. Minister Miya of Nakatsukasa becomes to sign up the adoption of the daughter in the Prime Minister Lieutenant General to Daijo Daijin seems to have also been agreed. And this kind of rumor when there was the person who told the Lord Keeper of the Privy Seal. The heart of the Lord Keeper of the Privy Seal was blocked in melancholy. The minister told gently that it has entered the ear of such rumors in Kali Kumoi. Terrible to be a feel that person may be the other of marriage. Daijo Daijin even though there is that it is now to put your mouth. But because what I was hardline. The minister is now I wonder is recommended that way. But because I was that on the body surface also allowed the marriage to the mercy of the other party embarrassing in that case. And the like. To say the father received the tears in the eyes. Even while listening Kali Kumoi is ashamed. On the one hand, I think bad what the rules to come flowing out tears to none. That has turned away was Karen. What it would be nice if had continued to pensive looking at the garden is still Kali Kumoi even after leaving the minister. While in the agony or will be outbroken from here. This would be a stupid tears of what? Had a place that afflicts the heart and the like would have thought my father. I received a letter of the Prime Minister Lieutenant General. Urameshiku there is a person I thought until now. But the letter truly is read and open immediately. Was a letter that was loving information. Serena is as different to always unexpected forget we become people and people of fleeting life. It says also, Kali Kumoy that it does not also wrote a little like that of the father is the story I thought. Urameshiku wrote a reply. Heart made Orchideal to the Gataki forget is only to be this or world Varuro forget. Chancellor or Lieutenant General in the meaning of this song is not falling into the office that was also tilting the neck forever. Thank you for your viewing. If you like, please subscribe to the channel. I am very encouraged.